The night sky offers spectacular marvels, some of them nightly, others rarely. One of these celestial wonders is the supermoon. This occurs when the moon is closest to the earth at the exact time of the full moon. It then appears much larger and brighter than any other time. I remember some years ago waiting with much excitement for this to appear. But when the evening came, clouds gathered in the sky, and I despaired of seeing it. Suddenly, though, I noticed a bright glow between two palm trees, in itself a magnificent sight. The clouds parted just enough for me to catch a glimpse of the supermoon in all its splendor. After a minute or two, the clouds covered it again. But it was a wonderful experience to observe the moon in full glory, even if only for a moment. Now, the moon is a fascinating thing. When we were children, we loved to watch it. Sometimes we saw it round, and sometimes crescent. Sometimes we said it looked like someone had taken a bite out of it. But it is not the moon which loses its shape or its size or its luminosity. The moon remains the moon. It is we who at times are closer or farther away from it. And it is our earth which casts a shadow upon the moon, whether partially or fully. The moon is always glorious. The Transfiguration is a supermoon moment. Like the moon, Jesus was always glorious. It was the others who were not able to see it. Now, for a brief moment, Jesus' closest friends were able to glimpse his glory and see the super Jesus. All of us are looking for God in our life. Like the moon, God is always the same. It is we who sometimes take ourselves farther from God so that we cannot clearly see the divine. Like the moon, God too is sometimes overshadowed by our own world, that world we create around ourselves, that world of distractions and diversions, that world we build around our car or our computer or our amusements, that world which prevents us from seeing God completely, that world which can at times completely block our view of God. But then come those wonderful God moments in our life when we catch a glimpse of the glory of God. The great English poet William Blake recognized these awesome God moments. To see a world in a grain of sand and a heaven in a wild flower, hold infinity in the palm of your hand and eternity in an hour. We can see God. We can see God precisely in the little things of this God-given world, in a grain of sand, in a little wildflower. We can see God in the smile of a baby, in the kiss of a friend. We can feel God in the embrace of reconciliation with a fellow human being, as well as in a lovely piece of music. We catch glimpses of God. At times we can look up from our world and find we have moved ourselves too far from God. At times we see a faint glimpse of God through our world, a dim fingernail moon. Other times we look up and see nothing at all, because our world has distracted us too much, cast too big a shadow onto the heavens. But then there are times when we look up from our world and see, as in a full moon, the unobstructed sight of the awesome glory of God. At these special super God moments, we find ourselves closer to God than ever before. Once we have experienced such a powerful moment, then our own world is no longer a distraction overshadowing our view of the divine, but rather a reflection wherein we constantly behold the divine. To see a world in a grain of sand and a heaven in a wild flower, hold infinity in the palm of your hand and eternity in an hour. In these powerful God moments, these super God experiences, heaven and earth truly meet in us. Time and eternity are one in us. At those special God moments of our life, we behold the glory of God and suddenly realize in the most powerful moment of all that we are part of that glory.